All right, there's a lot of channels, a lot of videos out there without a real person on them telling you how you should and shouldn't use castor oil. So if you want to hear from someone who's been using it for 10 months, almost daily, 46 years old, and hear my do's and don'ts that I have learned along the way, then just keep watching. Hi there and welcome to my channel. I'm Liz. Thanks so much for dropping in today. So I do want to get right into it and let the things, my don'ts, and I actually have a lot of do's. There's a lot of great benefits with you today, but I do have to put that disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. You need to talk to your doctor before trying anything medically, especially if you have other issues going on. And this is not intended for anyone pregnant. So anyone can use this information, but I'm kind of more speaking to the over 40 crowd. So if you have ailments, natural ailments of aging, maybe illnesses, stuff that you're trying to turn back the time, like me, things that you just, I guess, disregarded, didn't take care of, didn't think of, all those other years, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I need to start doing something, which was me, then I have some don'ts and do's that I want to share with you today, and little stories to go along with them. If you have any questions along the way, be sure to put your comment down below. Also, if you have a story of it helping you in another way that I didn't mention, leave that down below. I also have a few other videos that I have done that have some other information because it is very difficult to get everything into one, but let's get going. Okay, now brand I have been using is this Rejuve Naturals. I have actually used a few brands along my journey and I keep going back to this one. It has been my favorite. I just picked it at the very beginning and then was using it and it was great. And then I was like, well, I should try some other brands to make sure that this is the best one. So I did try other ones and I still keep going back to this. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I'm not an owner in any way. If you do use my link below, I may earn a tiny commission, and I appreciate you supporting me and this channel if you do choose to do that. So this is actually, I'm gonna start out with this one. It's actually controversial. I've had tons of people tell me, no, Liz, it lasts for months, it's fine. But again and again, I find if it is old or has a bad smell, I can't use it. I have to use my sense of smell to, like humans should, to see if something is good or bad. And this was very prevalent recently. I actually picked up some new castor oil packs and it came with an oil. So I'm not going to say which brand. Well, I will link the packs because I do like those, but the oil it came with I didn't like. It came in a plastic bottle and when I opened it up, it smelled like dirty socks or like farts. I'm not sure. It was gross. It was gross. I was like, I can't even use it. So my husband thinks it's fine. He's going to use it. So it's not going to go to waste because everything I've read says it's fine, but I mean, that's not enough for me. I have to go on what feels good and feels right to me. And so I would say if you're having a problem with the smell of it, try a different brand or get a new bottle because it doesn't need to smell like that. It should have a light, like woodsy smell or nutty smell, not a dirty sock smell. And that leads me into don't number 2. I'm gonna say don't use it out of a plastic bottle. The penetrating power of castor oil is so great. It's gonna be really hard to see if it was ever stored in plastic along its whole lifeline. At the very least, when you get it and you're storing it, that's kind of the only time you have control of the process. I would say that's the least you can do. It's gonna keep it fresher longer. It's just gonna keep it, I think, more usable and in the state that it's supposed to be in. And I have found every time I have gotten castor oil out of a plastic bottle, I don't like it. So I am going to say just don't opt for a plastic bottle. Make sure you get a glass dark colored bottle. And I like to keep this big bottle. This is the one I use. I go through this every month. And then I have a smaller version, which I'll link below as well, that I keep in my travel bag. So if I'm going somewhere for the weekend or a quick little trip, that is perfect. Gets through the airport just fine. And so that's a great little one to keep on hand so you can still oil up even when you're not at home. All right, my don't number 3 is don't continue using it if you have a rash. and it should not give you that. That is not a normal reaction. So I would say, number one, try a different brand. First, give it a break, let that clear up, try a different brand. Just for an example, my husband can't use it on his face. That is the main area I use it on. So he's afraid to use it on his face. He uses it literally everywhere else, just like I do, because we love it so much and think it's so beneficial and so great, which we'll get into the do's. But if it irritates you in one area, maybe wherever you're putting it, I would say, number one, try a different oil. Number two, maybe it is actually just that location on your body. All right, the next don't I learned from a friend, and don't use it on your eyes if you have contacts in. I don't think you're supposed to put anything on your eyelids, I mean, short of a little bit of makeup, when you have contacts in. So it is, again, a very penetrating oil. Don't put it on when you have contacts in. I would suggest saving it for a nighttime use when you have your contacts out, which we will get into eye use in our do's. But if you have contacts in, just avoid it during that time. Okay, and my don't number 5, I think we're on 5. Don't confuse warnings and castor oil in general, because some people are talking about ingesting it. So taking a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, whatever you do like that, or versus applying it topically. So those are 2 different applications. Now they have different effects, and I've heard good things from both. I will tell you, because this is a question I get a ton, I have never ingested it. Like, I've never swallowed even a tablespoon to get all the amazing effects that I have received over the last 10 months. So I think because it's so penetrating, when you're putting it over a large area, and especially consistently, and especially when applying an oil pack, I think you can get a lot of the same results. So we'll go into a little bit more of that in the do's, but don't get afraid of it just because people say they've had these crazy stories. You need to ask if they are ingesting it or just applying it topically. All right, and another one I get all the time, this has to be in the top 3. Don't worry about staining your sheets and your pajamas. So if you have really expensive sheets or pajamas, don't use those on the nights you're using castor oils, what I would suggest. I would suggest just getting some cotton ones. You can get a set on Amazon for, like $30 to $60, depending on your bed size. 100% cotton is all you need. Mine are in white, and the castor oil, any that gets on there, washes out just fine. So I have no problems with staining. They are white. If I have any kind of discoloration or anything, you could put a little bleach. You could also, if you have colored sheets, soak it in like some dish Dawn soap. So just clean out your kitchen sink, or if you have a laundry room sink, put the sheet in there with some dish soap and just soak it. It'll release all of the oils. It's not a staining oil. So I haven't found that. I did notice that sometimes when I wore some microfiber colored pajamas, the oil would leak through my pajamas onto the white sheet with a faint like gray, but everything came out. I had no problems with it with a microfiber or cotton. I think a cotton is a wonderful fabric to be wearing at night anyway, for a whole other host of reasons. So this is your health. So I would say it is worth getting the $50 sheets, some pajamas, and having to wash it here and there if it's gonna improve all these things that it does do. And if you're enjoying this content, please consider giving it a like so that YouTube will press it out to more people that it may potentially help. And if you aren't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I would love to have you back, and it's free. All right, so let's get into the do's. I am gonna say do apply it with other oils if necessary. So castor oil is, as we all know, thick. A lot of people talk to me and they say, Liz, it's so thick and like sticky, like how can you handle it? I hate it. So let me tell you a few things that you can do. Now, I apply it straight. I love it. I'm used to it. I've been doing it a long time, very regularly, but every now and then, especially if it's like really hot or I just, don't feel like putting it on straight because it is thicker, a couple things you can do. Sometimes I will put it on right out of the shower. So when you're still like wet, you can put it on and it kind of glides on easier. So that's one option, but really getting it over your body, on your joints, on your stomach. I can't do obviously my upper back, but I try to get it on my lower back there to get some of the organs and help penetrate a little bit as much as I can. You can also mix it with your lotion. Or another favorite that I do every now and then too is mix it with other oils. So I do have a concoction that I use off and on. I like it more in the winter. It just gives me like a little bit warm, cozy feeling. I think it's like the frankincense smell in there. So you can do that. I'll link that short below too so you can see how much of each I use. And I'm actually going to be coming up with a new one in the beginning of the year. So stay tuned for that as well. But just mixing it with either a single oil or a host of oils, other beneficial oils, I think is a great way to kind of thin out the consistency. Maybe you'll enjoy putting it on more because the key is consistency. I didn't even see results until after my first 60 days of religiously using it, like every day, not skipping a day. So I do get people who say, oh, I've been trying it for 30 days and nothing's happened. I mean, that's not enough. And I'm saying 60 days for me. So it may be 90 days for you. So I think definitely stick to it. The benefits are definitely worth it. And actually, part of that was in my do number 2 is do use it consistently. I cannot stress that enough. It is so important because it is a natural item. It's not a hardcore drug or something like that, some foreign agent. It is a natural thing, which it's a good thing. So you're going to see changes slowly over time, but it works on such a wide, vast array of ailments, probably some that you didn't even know you had. That really consistency is key. And I think removing all barriers and just doing it every single night. I like to do it at night. I find that easier because it is sticky. You don't want it in your hair, on your clothes in the day. Using it at night, by the time I wake up in the morning, it's like soaked in. It's fine. It's not all over the place. So whether you decide to shower in the morning or not, I think it's just fine. I actually shower at night and just in the morning I wash my face. That's just something I've always done. And that's it. I start my day. So it's not like all in my hair. It's not a sticky mess all over the place. I do change my pajamas every day, but that's also something that I've always done as well, is I don't wear the same pajamas every night because you sweat and you don't want bacteria and things like that. So breathable pajamas, cotton, and changing them out every night, and put your castor oil on every single night. Okay, this do is really important, and I wasn't utilizing it as much until the last 3 months, and that is do use castor oil packs. Depending on what ailment you have going on, I highly, highly recommend them. As I've dove into this more and been using them more, the benefits are amazing, like off the charts. So I've been putting it over my whole body, like I've been telling you, everywhere, right? So I was like, oh, that's good enough. I have it like everywhere and that's fine. But no, drizzling that oil on the cotton pad and putting it on your thyroid, putting it on your liver, putting it on a joint that's causing you pain is definitely gonna like bump up that treatment, really. And so I highly, highly recommend using castor oil packs. It just keeps it on there more because you actually would be surprised how quickly it all seeps in. It's not on there that long. So I think definitely using a castor oil pack is beneficial. And I think like over 40, we all have something that we need to treat, right? And so the other part of that is it has to be 100% organic cotton. If you find bamboo or some rayon or whatever other fabric they're making up that's natural or what, no. Every other fabric that is some kind of blend that isn't cotton or wool, has some kind of blend in it, is no good. It has plastics in it. And again, this is such a penetrating oil that you have to do 100% organic cotton. So when I first started out doing the oil packs, I actually just got the baby washcloths, organic baby washcloths that I could just set wherever I wanted. And I like the breathability of that because, so like while I was watching TV or something, so if you're not moving a lot, those are great because they're still a little breathable. They're not like strapped to you. But if you're gonna go to sleep with it on, then a pack that's gonna stay in place is beneficial. So you can go either route. I'll link the ones I use down below if you want to. You don't have to use those. You can use any ones you want. I just want you to use them. So pick what you want, but 100% organic cotton. Okay, this one is so funny, but it's so beneficial. And it is, do use it as your slugging topical. So what is slugging? Slugging is putting a thick, like emollient kind of topping over all your other topicals. So some people do a thick lotion, some people do Vaseline, some people do like butt paste. I do castor oil. And so I do my whole nighttime routine where I put on my vitamin C, my peptides, my retin-A, and then I put the castor oil on top. I find my retin-A so much more tolerable. I am working my way up because I only just started it a year ago. And so, but I never have any issues. I never have any issues with it. And it actually is supposed to lock everything in, moisturize, and make your topicals more potent. So whatever kind of like, if you're using some kind of cream wherever on your body, if you top it with the castor oil, that's only going to make it like more powerful, like more useful. So don't shy away from that. Put the castor oil right on top. And another little bonus, a thing I actually love to do, because if you don't have enough moisture in your skin, it starts to pull like moisture out if there's not like enough in the air or in your skin or wherever. Like there has to be some kind of moisture balance. I don't know all the science on that. That's a general explanation. But what I like to do is get a little like hydrating mist and spray it over the castor oil. And I just love how that feels. So it just feels like just wonderful cooling and moisturizing. And it's just a hydrating mist. My favorite one to use is this one from Clinique, which I will also link below for you. And I've been using that for a while. I really, really like that. And it's a nice little extra touch. All right, my next do is use it, well, at night. I already gave you one reason why, but the other do to use it at night is it works as a sleep aid. And I can absolutely attest to this because I haven't changed anything else in my life. No exercise regimen, no eating regimen. The only thing I added in was the castor oil and I sleep so much better. So I've read different things on where you need to apply it because I do apply it everywhere. I wanted to give you an option. And so what I've learned is even if you just put it on your eyelids, so you just close your eyes and just gently rub it on there, the whole thing, yeah, lightly, it's fine. I do it everywhere. But if you, at the very least, just put it on your eyelids, I think is really good to help. Try that with sleep. And I would still maybe put it on your like neck a little to calm down your like thyroid a little bit. As we're aging, I think we all need to take care of that. Maybe a little on your joints too. But try it on your eyelids and let me know if that helps you. And make sure you stay to the end where I show my outfit of the day because this is a fashion channel mainly, but I also cover skincare, health, lifestyle. So I'm expanding. I'm still new to YouTube, but always adding things in and would love to see you again. All right, and another do that I have to point out, even though I've kind of sprinkled it in because it's so important, is do use it on your joints. This has become super important to me because I have had other people that I know, my age and older, who have been having a lot of joint pain, and it's very common. And so this can actually help in joint pain or injuries, any kind of ailments that you're having with your joints. I would say be rubbing that on there maybe even more than once a day. So especially if it's an easily accessible place. So if you can wear t-shirts and you have an elbow injury, which is my husband recently. It's so funny because like anytime anything happens to anyone in my family, I'm like, put castor oil on it because it helps everything, like so many things like cuts, burns, sunburns, bug bites, joint pain. My son recently actually tore his meniscus. And so we're putting castor oil on that. We have Brace castor oil, red light therapy, which is another favorite thing of mine. A little interjection here. If you are having like severe ailments, severe pain, the first two things you have to do are get on the castor oil and get a red light, a quality red light, because they are not all made the same. I do have a red light. I actually have had, I think since 2017 or 18, I use it a few times a week and I have for years and I love it. I swear by it. I say if it's good enough for the athletes getting paid millions of dollars for their recovery, it's good enough for me. So they are expensive. Luckily, I bought mine a long time ago and it was expensive then, but the prices have gone up and they are for a quality one. So definitely do your research. They are not all created equal. I will link to the brand that I use because I love them. Of course, my red lights have worked this whole time and I actually have 4 panels. One panel like just stopped working for some reason. I have no idea why, but I contacted the company. I was able to send it to them and they fixed it. Now it did cost me $200, which is quite pricey, but compared to the whole unit, compared to how long I've had it and compared to the benefits that I get, I was happy to pay that instead of buying a whole new panel. So I really like that. Your whole family can use it. And of course, it's great for injury, illness, and maintaining health. Okay, I went a little off on a tangent there. The older I get, I'm getting more and more on all the health stuff and I'm going through the journey. So I'm just gonna be sharing the stuff with you, which I actually recently tried a dry fast for the first time. That was crazy. So I am gonna do a video on that as well. But be sure to put it on your joints. So your feet, your hands, your elbows, your knees, all the joints, any that are bugging you. I think that that's great in reducing the oxidative stress, any kind of issues that you have going on. So do put it on your joints. All right, my next do is put it all over your stomach for digestive health. So whether you have a poor diet, you have an illness, you have outside environmental things kind of attacking your body or even internal things attacking your body, really giving like your organs, all of them in there, some help, any help, I think is definitely worth it. So I just rub it again all over my stomach area and then just the back that I can reach is just fine, I think. Of course, doing the liver pack or oil pack on your liver, I think is super beneficial. Most of us eating the standard American diet definitely could help our liver out. Like that is not a good way of eating. I eat that way too. I'm trying to clean it up, but definitely helping out your liver where you can is super important. If you have extra problems of not being regular, if you get constipated a lot, I would say pour a little bit in your tummy, in your belly button. You don't have to ingest it. This is all topical and that will get it going. That'll get it going either later, probably the next day. So be careful with that, but it does work. You don't have to ingest it. Just pouring a little bit in there is gonna help get things going. Now, I would say if you're kind of really backed up, it might take a night or two, but stay at it and it'll definitely get things flowing. All right, do use castor oil for hair growth. So I found this out when applying it to my face. I found that my eyelashes grew. I have never had eyelashes as long as they are now, ever in my life. And I've used all different kinds of eyelash growth stuff. I used to wear fake eyelashes. I have tried to use natural mascara and good quality ingredient mascara. Nothing has worked like the castor oil. And that was one of the first things that I noticed in my first 60 days. So that was pretty rapid. Another question I get is, well, does it make your facial hair grow? For me, not. What I have found, I have read, is it does cause facial hair growth. I think it said in like 10 to 20% of women, like unwanted facial hair. So that could happen to you. But if it's getting rid of, if it's like growing your eyelashes, your eyebrows, your hairline, improving your melasma, keeping your skin clear, and you get a little bit of like hairs, I would wax those, I would shave them. I wouldn't worry about that one thing to get all the other benefits. So I haven't had face hair growth anywhere else. I actually haven't, it hasn't grown my eyebrows. Those are like long gone, long damage, hasn't helped. But I did notice my hairline is thicker. It's thicker, and I don't put it in my hairline on purpose. I think just because I put it on my whole face, it does get in there a little bit, and it has made my hairline thicker. You can also do an overnight like wrap pack. So like massage it into your scalp, put a little on your ends, tie up all your hair in like a towel turban thing, and then in the morning wash it out. Like sleep with it with a towel to keep it from getting all over the place. But then in the morning, just shower. You might have to shampoo it 2 or 3 times to get it out, but it's going to be so beneficial. And if you have like any scalp problems too, because it is microbial, it's going to start to clear that up too, which it does anywhere on your skin. That's why it keeps your pores clean. That's why, I mean, it's just so helpful. It's so helpful. So try it on your hair. Which leads me into my next point. My next do use it as an antifungal. So if you have like athlete's foot, or you have like a weird rash in a skin fold, if you have eczema, I've used it on my eczema and it's helped with that. I actually don't think I've gotten eczema since I have started using this, and without changing my diet, which I know changing your diet is, first of all, that is the number one thing above all of the things that can help you, is cleaning up your diet. If you can get rid of carbs and sugar, that's the best thing. I'm addicted to those, so I am not free of those yet, but those are the number one ways to get rid of most ailments. And I think all these other things just really help. They're like the second baseman. they're there to back it all up. But a quick personal warning: if you're putting it on your skin and you do have rolls, be careful with that, because you could have the opposite effect. You can have too much moisture and then cause a rash. So you might want to maybe castor oil pack that, so the cotton is absorbing some of it and you don't have just skin on skin with moisture, because that can cause a problem too. So make sure to look out for that. And of course, if anything's ever bugging you, just stop doing it. So this is natural. It's not super committal. If something bugged you, you shouldn't have like a super harsh reaction. And usually what I have seen, for the very few people, I've had thousands of people tell me great things, but the handful of people who have had an issue, if you stop using it, it usually clears up in a couple days. Do consider using it for any bumps, any weird bumps, any bumps that you don't want that you find on your body. So whether it's like a little cyst, a bump, a skin tag, a wart, anything like that, I would say put it on there consistently. You can put a little Band-Aid over it at night to, like, again, it's almost like its own little Castor pack. So keep at it consistently. I haven't had one removed like that, but I know people personally, and I had a ton of people tell me all the amazing ways that castor oil cleared different kinds of ailments like that up. One of my favorite do's that I have to share with you is put it on your eyes. So we talked about a little bit why, but my favorite use of why I've put it on my eyes is it cleared up my dry eyes. I had severe dry eyes. Like I would have eye drops next to my bedstand. I'd have to put them in the morning. I would keep one in my purse because I had severe dry eyes. And if you've ever had that, it can be painful. It's highly irritating. It's just terrible. So since putting the castor oil on my eyes, that has completely gone. I have not once had to use eye drops since starting castor oil. And the other benefit is I think it's improving my eyesight, which is a weird one. I started wearing glasses, I think when I was 37, and I'm 46 now. And of course, every year you go to the doctor, they want you to bump it up, bump it up, bump it up. Well, I kind of resisted that, and I would only do it every other year because I kind of think that's a little bit of a crutch. And your eyesight does fluctuate throughout the day and throughout the days and the weeks and the month, like just depending on other things you have going on. So I really don't like to take one snapshot and make a year-long decision on it. So consider that, by the way. But if you have any kind of eye ailments, I've heard it helps with like glaucoma, eye floaters, other people have told me too that they're much older than me, 70, 80s, who they actually put it in their eyeball, just like one drop once a year, and that they feel has helped their eyesight. Now, I have never put it in my eyeball, but I put it on top every single night. And of course, some has to seep in because it's so penetrating, and just everything about my eyesight, my eye health I feel is better. I can notice an improvement, and that alone may be the best reason to use it. So definitely give it a try. If anything's weird, stop using it. You can also do your own research. You can also leave me a comment, and I will try to answer any questions that you have as well. All right, I hope that you found this helpful and informative. So don't forget to hit that like button and share it with someone that you think it may help. This is my own personal experience, personal journey. This is not something that I read. These are instances, mostly personal, with my husband, with my kids, with family members that I have seen, and then sprinkled in just a couple that I have heard from the thousands of comments that I've received since starting my castor oil journey. And yeah, so thank you so much for dropping in. And because this is a fashion channel, my outfit of the day, I wanted to thank you so much for dropping in and spending some of your time with me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next one.